Well, it happened. Florida Gators quarterback DJ Lagway is entering the transfer portal. Just announced. Glad he waited until I got home. Let's talk about it, Gators fans.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free, whether it's in the podcast and on YouTube. A lot of you guys in the chat right now. Something happened? Yeah, Florida Gators starting quarterback DJ Lagway has announced that he's going to enter the transfer portal. It's an interesting situation, right? You know, I think that for a lot of people, like let's circle back for a second. This is something that in October, I think was the first time I said it, was that, you know, might be best for DJ to enter the portal. Just not, like I said, I think he's fixable. I'm not sure he's fixable here, right? And again, that's kind of just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, right? You got DJ Lagway gone after a awful season. We'll see what can happen, right? He's still, and because I'm not doing the whole like, oh, he's gone, we're going to change everything that we've said before. He's still an incredibly physically talented quarterback when he's healthy. He just hasn't been healthy to this point. And we don't know what he's going to be when he is healthy. Like we know he's physically talented, but a lot of what went wrong for him and for Florida was mental, I guess we can say. And so he announced he entered the transfer portal. Let me pull up the exact post that we have there, which again, I think a lot of people were quite surprised by it. I think there are a lot of people in Gainesville that are surprised by it as well. But the exact quote for or from DJ Lagway, if it wants to load, that would be really cool. The exact quote from DJ Lagway is the typical entering the transfer portal, hope for the best, wish for the best, all that fun stuff that you're going to get there. It's Dear Gator family. First and foremost, I want to thank God for every blessing he has placed over my life. I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to have been part of such an incredible program here at the University of Florida. To my family, your unwavering support means the world to me. I would not be the man or the athlete I am today without your love, guidance, and sacrifice. To my friends and teammates, thank you for the brotherhood, the memories, and the bonds that we've built over these past 2 years. I will carry those moments with me for a lifetime. To my coaches, the athletic training staff, and every member of the University of Florida community, thank you for pouring into me, believing in me, and showing me nothing but love and support throughout my time in Gainesville. After much prayer, reflection, and thoughtful consideration, I have decided to enter the transfer portal. With gratitude, DJ Lagway. That's his quote to leave, or that was his message to leave. And again, like, I wish the best for him, right? I think it was October was the first time where I said, you know what, maybe DJ Lagway leaving would benefit him or be the best scenario for him. For everybody talking about, oh, is he gonna like is there a chance he comes back? I don't think so. I think if you're a QB1 and you announce your intention to enter the transfer portal, you're entering the transfer portal, right? And people talking about, you know, money this, money that. I don't know. You can ask people, like I see the question, what about his contract? Does he give back money? Does he owe us money? Does he have a buyout? I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of just about any player's contract. And frankly, I don't care about the inner workings of their contract. I'm not pocket watching these kids. But DJ Lagway is going to go. And that is what it is. Frankly, if he was going to go at all, this is probably the best time to do it, right? When you've got a new coaching staff coming in, a new offensive coordinator coming in. It's a fresh start for everybody. That's why in October we said that. Like, I wish the absolute best for him. I wish him luck. If I had to guess, I would imagine he winds up somewhere in the state of Texas or at USC with Lincoln Riley. I know that there's people making jokes about him going to James Madison and following Billy Napier. That would be the funniest possible outcome. Just want to throw that out there. That would be a hysterical outcome if he went. Nah, I'm gonna stick with Billy. But I don't think that's the case, right? I think that he's going to go to either Baylor, Texas A&M, something like that. And the Texas A&M one's always been interesting because, yeah, they have Marcel Reed there, but wouldn't that be the perfect situation for DJ to go get done with whatever procedure he needs to get? Like the shoulder is something that, looked better toward the end of the year, but we were always told that like that shoulder was going to be something that he needs surgery on eventually, right? If you're ever going to get it, go get it now. Go red shirt and call it a day, right? Look, we spoke about it. Was it last week with Florida and the transfer portal and saying, hey, you know what? Florida should go get a quarterback, whether that's for competition or for depth. Go get a quarterback in the portal. There's guys out there, right? I don't know who they would want. I don't know, because that's also the new thing is now when you talk about who Florida might pursue in the transfer portal like quarterback, now you're going to be talking about, well, how does it mesh with the offensive system that Buster Faulkner truly wants to run? Because he's going to be able to go get any quarterback he wants, right? Like not as in any quarterback is going to come to Florida, but like he's going to go and be able to pursue any quarterback he wants. With a lot of quarterbacks, it probably was the case of, well, I'm not going to go to a place where DJ Lagway's at, where there's like an established starter. Now there's not. Go pursue anybody you want. Okay, Job Music just said, get Bear Bachmeyer. I will crash out. You want to see me crash out? Go get Bear Bachmeyer and watch me crash out. Again, I don't think the Buster Faulkner wants to stick with the quarterback run heavy offense the way that he's had at Georgia Tech. I think that he did that because he had Haynes King at quarterback, and that was the best way you were going to win football games with Haynes King at quarterback. I don't think it's what he wants to do. He received 10% of the NIL from Florida. What a waste comment from Larry, and that I've seen before, and I know where it came from. I will just say that the person that put that out there has been wrong time and time and time again. I'm not going to put stock into something like that. I see a lot of people mentioning Darian Mensah from Duke. And of course, there's the whole, he played a year for John Summerall over at Tulane. But I don't know about that one. Like Duke paid him, right? Duke paid him. He won the ACC. We know what the ACC is, but he won the ACC. Darian Mensah this year, 3,626 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 5 picks. Pretty good. Hi, Brandon. Shout out. What's up, David? I'll shout you out. Trinidad Chambliss, you are a Florida Gator. Look, there's a lot of options where Florida can go here. And again, like now you can do whatever you want. Did anyone watch the Momagers podcast or DJ Lagway's mom? I did not. Didn't do it. What's up, T? But yeah, I think looking at, Florida now, it's an interesting spot that the whole program's in because of this, right? I saw someone mention Marcus Stokes, which I don't think happens. Marcus Stokes is, of course, the quarterback commit that then ended up going to West Florida after getting his scholarship pulled after a video of him saying a certain thing came out. Why is everyone big on Aaron Philo? Did he play at all? So people are very high on Aaron Philo, the Georgia Tech backup quarterback, partially because watch the offense when he comes in, he lights it up. But I mean, he's a young guy that, again, played well in limited reps over the past 2 years. He has a combined, again, 57.8 completion percentage, which as a freshman was 51.4%. This year was 75%. He's got 938 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. And yeah, I mean, I think that when you're talking about bringing in a guy like Aaron Philo, you're like, all right, well, he's a young quarterback that that is familiar with the Buster Faulkner offense, but I think that just revisits the conversation of what is a Buster Faulkner offense? That's got to be the question, right? Because Buster Faulkner, prior to him going to Georgia in 2020, was a very air raid style. It was the hatch attack, right? Which I think the hatch attack, whether or not that's what Buster Faulkner is going to bring to Gainesville, I think the hatch attack's a really great offense. It's the kind of offense I like, where like the passing style is built off being an air raid-ish, and the run game is built off being I don't even know how you would describe it, but it's like wide receiver runs and option plays. It's just like it's very spread option in the run game, but air raid in the passing game. That's a really fun combination. Is that what he's going to do again? Is he going to try the Georgia Tech power spread that we saw? I don't know what it's going to be fully, right? But that's why it's also tough to talk about who they're going to get in the portal, who they're going to pursue in the portal. There's Darian Mensah. Jake Retzlaff, I don't know if he still has. I think he still has a year of eligibility, but I'm honestly not sure, because he was at a JUCO before he went to BYU, and then he transferred to Tulane, and so maybe there's Sam Leavitt that people keep mentioning from Arizona State. I got to be honest, Sam Leavitt's he's just a guy that I look at. I'm like, I feel like you were really good for the system you were in, but I don't know if you're really good, period. We got Marcus Stokes being mentioned again. I've seen one person. It's Iceberg Slim. I've seen one person, and maybe I've missed people saying it. I've seen one person say Tramel Jones. Oh, why are we just overlooking Tramel? Because I remember week 1 against Long Island, when we saw Tramel, everyone went, wow, the offense looks really fluid with him. The offense looks really efficient with him. And I remember people calling for him to take DJ Lagway's job. And then now that DJ Lagway's job is open, I don't see enough people talking about Tramel Jones. That's all I'm asking. Like that's all I'm saying. Marcus Stokes is a finalist for the D2 Heisman. Sure. Sorry, the Heisman's the Heisman, right? The Heisman's the Heisman. Bryce Underwood, I'm assuming, we got Pearson there, saying I said Tramel and Griffin before you got here. I'm not going to say Griffin. I am usually pretty firmly against a true freshman starting quarterback there. What about the QB from Iowa that transferred from D2? I don't know which quarterback, unless you talk about I don't think Gronowski came from there. Bryce Underwood, I don't think is someone that Florida is going to go break the bank for. All right, that doesn't seem like a smart idea to go, hey, it's year 1, let's go break the bank for a quarterback that, again, young, has been effective, but I don't know. I think that's an odd spot to go with. Old Dominion, you can talk about. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are going to enter the portal, and you could say Florida could take a swing at them, right? I think that'll maybe give us a little bit of a better indicator for what Florida is really trying to do, or what Buster Faulkner is really trying to do with the offense. But it's certainly just an interesting spot for Florida to be in, right? Like, you had the chance to go, we're going to have a new head coach, but we're going to keep most of the roster, going to keep the quarterback, we're going to keep all that. And now you're in a spot where you go, all right, well, we got a new head coach, we have a new quarterback. What else changes, right? If you had to put money down, how do you feel about Ball transferring? I don't think it's going to happen. He doesn't seem like the type, right? And I'm not saying that DJ is the type. I'm just saying that, in October, we were talking about DJ Lagway here, and maybe transferring is the best for him. That was a big thing with DJ, was I think he's fixable. I do. I don't think that his issues are unfixable. I don't think he's a completely broken quarterback. I don't think he's a quarterback with no upside anymore. I still think he's fixable. You could say DJ's that type. That's fine. I think he's fixable. I just don't know if you're fixable at Florida, was always the thing. There's now like these personal feelings about it. There's this sour relationship of, and I'm not saying this to blame the fan base or attack the fan base. I'd want to make that clear. There's now the sour feeling between the fan base and DJ Lagway, though, based on his play during the season. Based on his play, there's that sour feeling from watching him, right? Like, honestly, like I look at every receiver that people talk about with the portal, and I know that those guys love DJ Lagway on that roster, right? However, Frank, and again, I'm just being frank here. If I'm a receiver, does DJ Lagway leaving impact if I'm staying or not? Like, I think he's a great kid. I do. I think he's well liked, and I know he's well liked in the locker room, well respected in the locker room. But if I'm a receiver, I'm like, all right, I saw him play football this year. I know what he did. I watched him do it. Am I supposed to miss that? Am I supposed to miss the 5 picks versus LSU? Am I supposed to miss you not being able to properly set up your protections and then you getting smoked because of it? I don't know, right? I don't know. If I'm a receiver, honestly, it wouldn't impact me. I think that there are guys who are going to say, you know what, like I really liked playing with DJ. I really respect him. I think he's great. I think he's this. I think he's that. And I think that's a very real possibility. However, if I'm a receiver and I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, well, best of luck to you. But now we've got this new head coach that everyone's excited about. We got this new OC that everybody's excited about. We got all this stuff that everyone's excited about. And the guy that just threw 1,000 picks is gone. Like, if I'm a receiver, I wouldn't be too broken up about it. But again, I can't speak for every receiver. I can say that as someone who gets to sit, I mean, fresh walked into the house off the airplane. I get to say that as someone that isn't trying to make it to the NFL, right? I get to say that. But for receivers that are going to try to make it to the NFL and do want to be developed and do want to do this, I don't know how they're going to feel about it. I'm not saying that they're going to follow DJ, but if you were a receiver looking for a fresh start, new head coach, your QB1 entering the transfer portal, that's the best time to go hit the portal yourself if you're considering it. If you're not considering it and you're saying, hey, I'm going to stay, I trust the coaching staff, then do that. But I don't know. I don't think anyone's following him. I wouldn't. If you do follow him, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to question your decision making. But I am going to say that, well, if you're going to leave, this is the best time to do it. You don't know who your QB is going to be right now, but that's also the thing, right? Like, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of receivers go, I need to go into the portal now because we don't have DJ Lagway. I think you're going to see receivers go, let me hear who they want to get at quarterback, and then I'll make that decision, right? Like, that's what I would do personally. I'd say, you know what? I'm going to wait to see what the coaching staff tells me of who they're targeting, who they want to get at quarterback, what their plan is with the entire offense now. You know, we'll talk about all that in a minute. We've been live for 20 minutes. Completely forgot that we were supposed to do an ad break. So we've been live for 20 minutes. We'll get to that. And then we'll talk about Florida's approach to the portal, receivers, all that stuff when we get back with Locked On Gators. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories, right? Because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it so that when they plug it in, the memory's already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles, right? For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's auraframes.com. Promo code COLLEGE. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. And NFL Sundays move fast, right? Especially if you're a Patriots fan. Just want to throw that one out there. If you're a Patriots fan, they move pretty fast for you, especially when Josh Allen's coming down the track. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there that it happens. And I will say that when the Patriots were up big on Sunday, I live bet the Bills not to win. I'm not a lunatic. I didn't live bet the Bills to win. I did live bet the Bills to cover 5.5 though, and that was plus money and that cash. So I'm happy with it, right? Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy about it. I wanted the Patriots to do well. I also have a bet for Travion Henderson to get 1,000 rushing yards this season, which turns out once they started giving him the football, he's doing a really good job at getting there. Just saying, Mike Vrabel, you're screwing my money. We got issues now at that point. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, so can you. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. And the Florida Gators looking for a new quarterback, right? We've established that they've got to go after their guy, whoever that may be. That's the interesting part here, right? And also, by the way, thank you for 400 people in here on a Monday morning. It's 11 a.m. Wild, but thank you all for being here. Yeah, DJ Lagway is entering the transfer portal, which puts Florida just in an interesting spot, really. It does. That's all it does. I don't think it puts Florida in a worse spot because I watched him play quarterback this year. So I watched DJ Lagway play quarterback this year for Florida. I'm not, frankly, broken up about it. Like I said in October, I think it's best for him personally. Like let's talking about it from a non-Florida perspective, right? Like let's try to go into DJ Lagway's mind. You're coming off a 2024 season where you set the world on fire, right? Come off a 2024 season where you set the world on fire. You dealt with injuries. I mean, the back half of the season, all of spring, you didn't really participate. Fall camp, you didn't really participate. Then you come out there and you, frankly, stink it up. No other way to put it. Sucked in 2025 for most of 2025. Sucked. Final few games looked a lot better. Was getting out moving, was running, was hitting spin moves, was doing a whole bunch of things. Now you have the head coach that you committed to got fired. And that's also a thing, just to be absolutely clear. Kids are committing to coaches. I know everybody wants kids to say, hey, I just want to be a Gator. I just want to commit to Florida. I just want to do this. That's cool. That's great. That's not how life works right now. Okay. That's just not how life works. Kids are committing to coaches that think are going to get them to the NFL. Most of the time. A lot of times it's kids saying, hey, these are the coaches I trust to get me there. Now who's going to pay the most, right? So you could say all that. But from DJ's perspective, this is your chance to get a fresh start. That's it. I really am curious what he's going to do. I think that I'm not speculating about his personal life. I'll say that. I think that he's going to go closer to home or USC, which I guess is technically closer to home still, right? But he's going to go either in Texas or USC. Hell, maybe LSU, right? Maybe LSU gets a look from him. But I think for him, honestly, it's like this is your time to get a fresh start. There's never going to be a better chance to get a fresh start. Your head coach that you committed to got fired. I was going to say left, but I want to make that clear. Got fired. So the head coach you committed to got fired. You had an awful year. Maybe it's time to go. And your head coach now is the guy that arguably broke you at the end of 2024. I hope the best for DJ. I know that it sucks to lose the guy that so many people were really excited about for a long time. I was really excited for him as well. I still think he's going to be or can be really good, but I'm sorry. I can't find it in me to be broken up about it. And we got what Pete Nakos just tweeted that Baylor, LSU, and Miami are early schools to watch for DJ Lagway. Okay. I'll say this. Alex Dono, the host of Locked On Canes, texted me when he said, "Any guesses on where Lagway goes?" And I said, "Wouldn't you, like the letter U, like to know?" And so that's it. And I was making a joke. That's it. But that does seem to be the Miami route is we're going to go after a quarterback in the portal. Florida. I mean, I feel like Florida, you have to bring somebody in, right? And look, it's December 15th right now. There's going to be more guys that enter the portal in these final 2 to 3 weeks. DJ is just one of them. I saw someone say, I think someone said Aiden Childs mentioned entered the portal as well, which Aiden Childs is Michigan State. And so, yeah, I think that maybe that's a guy that people can look at. I will say, I don't think so. I wouldn't, frankly. Anytime that I watched Aiden Childs at Michigan State, I wasn't exactly thrilled with him or impressed, I'll say. Like, I also did think it was really funny that he, I think it was the first game of the season, like last year, and he was just like, "Hey, if you're a gambler, take the over in our game," and then it was like 13-10 or something like that. It was wild. But yeah, as far as guys entering the transfer portal, and I'm looking at, let me sort this by, can I sort this? Okay, by rating. You got Aiden Childs just entered. You got DJ Lagway in there. I'm assuming you're not going to go after Katin Hauser from East Carolina. JJ Coles at App State. He used to be at Iowa State. Braden Atkinson just entered the portal, though I think he goes to Toledo. I think he's just following his coach. Let's see who else you have that Florida. Again, Sam Leavitt is in there. Isaac Wilson is in there, which, frankly, no thanks. Kenny Minchie from Notre Dame is someone that a lot of people like, a lot of people look forward to, a lot of people asked about, and it's like, well, I don't think that he comes there. KD Daniels just entered the transfer portal, according to people. Yep, running back KD Daniels has entered the transfer portal. Best of luck to him, man. KD is someone that we liked here on Locked On Gators. Thank you for the guys shouting it out. I'm obviously not looking at my phone right now. We're still going to talk about this right now. Look, KD is someone that I really liked coming out of high school. Wish it could work out, but frankly, there's spots for some guys and there's not for others, right? That's how it works. I'm not going to lose sleep over a guy that, as much as I liked his high school film, didn't really play in college, right? And part of that was on him, frankly. Like we watched him every time he tried to be in pass pro. It didn't go well. But Florida right now, this seems to be portal day for Florida. I feel like every day it's like a different school has all their announcements come out. This seems to be portal day for Florida. We'll see who else enters, what else happens. Ja'Cory Brown is in the transfer portal. I didn't even know he was still in college. That's wild. That's wild. I didn't even know he's still in college, honestly. You got a lot of these guys entering the transfer portal. Braden Fowler Nicolosi is in there. He's the guy from Colorado State that when they had Jay Norvell still, he was just like, oh, I got these schools offering this amount of money to my quarterback and trying to take him. And then you look at what he did production-wise. It's like, why? I don't believe that, frankly. But yeah, Florida, you're going to be looking in the portal. Right now, there's looking at who's in the portal. Right now, there's not a ton of guys that I'm looking at. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a Florida starting quarterback quality, Florida starting quarterback caliber. I don't know. We'll see, frankly. But Yeah, right now it doesn't look super dope there. Lagway said multiple times he's staying, bro. I'm not saying the other part. Um, I don't care. Like the only real answer you can give when anyone asks, are you staying? Are you going? If you're a coach or a player, the only real answer you can give is saying that you're staying. That's the only way you even have a chance to win. To win that PR battle, right? If I say I'm staying and then I stay, I look like I'm a man of my word, right? If I say I'm staying and then I leave, Florida fans are going to hate me, but I'm not their quarterback anymore. I'm not on that team anymore. If I'm a coach, I'm not that coach anymore. I don't necessarily care what that fan base thinks about me anymore. I'm gone. The only right answer to give is I'm staying. Because if you go, we'll see what happens, everyone's going to lose their minds if you say that. If you say, we'll see what happens, they're going to lose their minds. If you say, I'm leaving, and then you end up not entering the transfer portal, first off, Florida's not going to hate you for being a liar. But the moment you say, I'm leaving, they're going to start bashing you, right? Like the only right answer to give is whether you're a player or a coach is I'm staying. The actual thing to do, if you're media or whatever, don't ask. It's not your business, frankly. Like I know you want the answer, you want to get that, but really, frankly, it's not your it's not your business to ask that. I'll be honest. Anytime I've spoken to a player or anybody about it, I always say, do whatever's best for you. Um, yeah, and look, I know that I tell people, I'm like, yeah, like I'd love to hear Gator, but like, do what's best for you, because that's what it should be, right? That's what it should be. I think Florida, you got to go after a portal quarterback here. I don't know who that's going to be, because frankly, the quality in the transfer portal right now, not super promising. Why Philo? He hasn't done squat. Okay. Aren't you the guy that said DJ Lagway is a Gator for life? No. Why do you keep saying? I feel like every time you come in here, you go, "Aren't you the guy that said?" And then you say something I didn't say. It's crazy. I'll never in my life say someone's a Gator for life, unless it's in the sense of like once you're a Gator, you're always a Gator. That's it. But as far as like is he staying, I'm never. I was one saying I think he should go. But yeah, DJ's gone. All right, you got to go into the portal for a quarterback. Your best bet right now, based on who's in there right now, is get a guy to just compete. That's it. You're not finding a guy where you're going bona fide QB1. Not happening. And also, frankly, shouldn't happen. You get it, like even if you get a guy that you go, that's bona fide QB1, make him earn it. I see people keep mentioning Drew Meest. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Meestemaker, the freshman quarterback from North Texas. I'm assuming he's going to follow Eric Morris to Oklahoma State. I do. I'm assuming he's going to follow Eric Morris to Oklahoma State. If he enters the portal and he's open to it, hell yeah, go at least try to get him. Right, looked really promising. I'm not going to pretend I watched a ton of North Texas this year, but looked really promising in the games that I did watch. I watched like 4, so looked promising in those games. Just let Griffin take over. That's an insane thing to say. I just want to throw that out. That's an insane thing to say. To go, just let the true freshman take over. It worked so well last time, right? So yeah, we can say I will say like LSU would be really interesting. LSU would be a really interesting spot. What about Byron Brown? Does he technically have a year left? I would imagine the most likely scenario for Byron Brown is to go to Auburn, right? Be Alex Golish's QB1. Because while that would be new to Auburn, that would be we've got our head coach and we've got our quarterback back. it's just, or we've got our head coach now in with the quarterback that he had last year, and that matters. It does. Like, that kind of continuity does matter. You've got, okay, we just got another announcement of Katie Daniels entering the transfer portal. Thanks on 3. But yeah, like with you got Will Griffin coming in, who, again, we on signing day, we went live for a few hours. We watched his film, and it's like the film from Will Griffin as a junior in high school to a senior in high school was wild. Really was. It was wild. He took a huge jump. Crazy to see. Tramel Jones as a junior looked really good. As a senior, he was hurt. We didn't really see him. Got hurt in week 1 or week 2, so didn't really see him. I expect both of them here, right? You're still going to have, I think, Aiden Warner still going to be here. As in, he still has eligibility. We'll see if he stays, but I would imagine he does now, especially with DJ gone. Everybody should look at DJ Lagway and go, he's gone. Quarterback competition is open in Gainesville. I will say it's very funny that someone said Lagway will be forgotten about by everyone in less than a year, just like Emory Jones. Maybe, but Emory Jones is in the NFL right now, so don't know what to tell you. But yeah, for people, like, no one should freak out about Katie Daniels. And again, I say that as someone that very publicly was a big Katie Daniels fan coming out of high school. I'm not going to freak out about it. You were here for 2 years. You didn't crack the rotation. I have a hard time getting worked up about something like that. Respectfully, Warner needs to go. Why? Why does Aiden Warner need to go? What's the downside of having him on your roster? I don't think there is one, frankly. I'm not saying that he should be, your quarterback. I'm not saying that I want him to be the quarterback. I'm not saying I want him to win it. But why would I, like, anybody that's on the roster and wants to be here, any quarterback that's on the roster and wants to be here, let him. Like, you're not going to go into the portal and get 2 quarterbacks that are better there. Like, just go get who you can. Like, just get a QB to come in and compete, and you figure that out. It'll be really interesting to see what this offense looks like. It'll be really interesting to see how this roster gets shaken up by this. And it'll be really interesting to see what the plan is. Like we'll start hearing about who Florida's talking to in the portal and who they're communicating with. We did get a report that that Kenny Minchie from Notre Dame said, hey, Florida did contact me. And I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of went, oh, this is one of those, we're going to contact everybody things, right? Or like everybody's just going to go, hey, just curious, what your price is, what role you're looking for, whatever that is. And then going, oh, he contacted him. Like, I think that you see a lot of that. But maybe you do spin on that, right? 6'1.5", 201 pounds. Maybe you spin on that, redshirt sophomore. Lagway could always come back. No. I'm sorry. If you're a quarterback and you say, hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. If you're a starting quarterback and you say, hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal, you're gone. There's just no other way to put it. I would welcome you back personally. I would. I don't hold ill will towards these kids that want to enter the transfer portal. Test your market, see whatever it is. And I've said it before. Like I said it earlier today, and I will continue to say it. I think for a lot of players, like any players that I've ever spoken to, that's a conversation that comes up with the portal and stuff. I always just tell them, do whatever you think's best for you. Like, I want my team to win, right? But at the end of the day, these are still kids, right? Like they're kids growing up into being men, yeah. But like when they get on campus, they're 18 years old. And so, I'm not gonna bash any kid for just wanting to better himself, right? Wanting to put himself in a better situation or to just see what's out there that's better. However, when you're starting quarterback and you enter the transfer portal, I don't really see a path back, right? I think that once you say, "Hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal," it's like, all right, well, you open that can of worms, right? You open the fan base bashing you more than they already were. Like I saw everybody when John Summerall hired Buster Faulkner, I saw a bunch of people going, "Oh, DJ's back. DJ's gonna be so good again. DJ's there. Like we're gonna find that rhythm again from 2024." Then he says, I'm gonna hit the portal. And I see a bunch of people going, "Oh, he sucked anyway. He threw a ton of picks. He was this, he was that." You're not coming back after that. That relationship's already shot at this point. So I'll say that. On three saying LSU's the early favorite for DJ. All right. Get him. Yeah. If you can fix him, you can fix him. DJ will follow his coach to JMU. Book it. That would be the funniest outcome, right? Like that would easily be the funniest outcome if it was just DJ going, "I'm gonna play for Billy Napier no matter what." Like that's my guy. I'm gonna play for him. But shout out to you if that's what you want to do, right? But yeah. For the people asking about Kenny Minchie, he's barely played. I don't know if he's good, frankly. He's got 29 pass attempts in his 3 years at Notre Dame. You could say fans sever relationships, but like I think that's the case in some cases. I think that's valid. To blame the fans for things, or we'll say, I'll say blame the fans for things. In some cases, yeah, that's valid. I think that's part of what happened with Emory Jones, right? Like I still remember Emory Jones played the game of his life against Alabama. He played a great game against Alabama. He really did. He made a couple stupid mistakes, but overall, it was a great game. You lose to freaking FCS Samford if he doesn't have a record-setting performance. Saved you from that embarrassment. And I think the fans soured that relationship, right? Frankly. DJ, I think that was a lot of people being upset with him playing poorly, considering the investment, considering the promise that we had there. And I think a lot of fans just felt let down. Because it's tough to say like, "Oh yeah, DJ lied" or anything like that, right? Or that anybody lied about DJ, because DJ, we never saw him fully healthy with experience. We spoke about it during the year that he's basically developmentally still a freshman. He didn't have the offseason to work and develop and grow. He didn't have any of that. Stunk it up this year, right? But that soured things. Napier ruined DJ. I don't know. Did he? Frankly, did he? Because again, I feel like what happened was that DJ got hurt, couldn't really work in the offseason, never got better. And his mechanics got worse because he was throwing with his foot, ankle, leg, whatever injury you want to talk about. He was throwing footballs with that situation. And I think that really destroyed his footwork when he was healthy, because he was now throwing to overcompensate for an injured leg that was no longer injured. And so I think that overcompensation kind of hurt him a bit developmentally, or hurt him mechanically. And that in turn then hurt him developmentally. It is what it is. I think a fresh start will be good for him. I think a fresh start will be good for Florida. I know a lot of people wanted him back. I do. I'll say this. I wanted him back. I again said that I think that he is someone who still has a high ceiling, is still fixable, still has that potential. I don't know if he's fixable in Florida, and we're never going to find that out. He's never going to be there. I don't know. I think that best thing for him, in my opinion, would be go get whatever surgeries you need, sit the year if you need it, and then try to bounce back in 2027. For the people saying that, Keith Niebuhr from On3 just reported that DJ's agent said that it was UF that pushed DJ out. DJ was not part of the plans for 2026. Take that with a grain of salt. Take that with a grain of salt, because that seems like the kind of thing And I say this for all agents, not DJ's agent specifically, which he has two, if I'm not mistaken. I know one of them. I've not spoken to him. But I will say that sounds like a kind of thing where an agent, how do I phrase this? That sounds like Florida wasn't willing to give the money that DJ wanted. And so an agent kind of changed it to, we weren't in their plans in 2026. They didn't have us in the plans in 2026 because they weren't willing to invest this amount of money in him, or willing to invest this kind of thing here. Okay, so that's the agent I know. If K Brown, you're the one that said the Keith Niebuhr message, right? I'm also so sorry if that's not how you pronounce his name. But yes, okay, that's the agent I know. That's AR's agent as well. But so that still sounds like something that an agent would say in the case of basically being like, oh, well, if we were in the plans, they would have matched this amount, or they would have given this amount, or whatever it is. It's also entirely possible that Florida just said, hey, no thanks, right? Like, it's entirely possible that Summerall, Buster Faulkner came in and went, you know what, I'm good. I do know that there are players that they've spoken to, and they said, yeah, we still like you. We really like you. Kenneth Maynor said QB Caton Hauser from East Carolina entered the portal, 3,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. His OC from ECU, John David Baker, is the new OC at Ole Miss. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thank you for the super chat there. We spoke about him briefly before. Oh, you're an ECU fan. Thank you for coming in here. Appreciate your support. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's Ole Miss, right? Maybe he just follows his OC. I think you see that with a lot of guys. I mean, hell, that's the reason that a bunch of Florida fans are going, go get Aaron Philo, because we have his OC. If Aaron Philo entered the portal and Florida didn't have Buster Faulkner as offensive coordinator, I want to know how many would really do it, right? DJ never wanted to leave Florida, but I think the new coaching staff with their communication made it clear where they stood with DJ. That is amazing. I will say that. So K Brown, is that the quote from On3? That's going to be really interesting, because I was also told this morning that Florida, and I'm saying this. Okay, thank you. I'm saying this to just show word of mouth, and that's it. Okay, I'm not saying this is true or false or anything, but I am saying that I was also told that Florida reached out and they weren't really getting the communication that they were hoping for. And so they like that. I've heard that from both sides. So Spider-Man meme. That's all that is. Sam Leavitt keeps getting brought up. Can't wait for Lagway to go to LSU, where he'll be hated even more than here. The fact that you think he's going to be hated is crazy, because this is going to be sad to say, by now 30 years of life have taught me anything as a Florida Gators fan. It is that if someone leaves Florida and goes to school we hate, I fully expect them, outside of ETN, I fully expect them to just like be good against it. Like I'm ready to be hurt in some way, right? Yeah, exactly. Jose Cruz Torres has it right. He's gonna win a Heisman if he goes to LSU. Heisman, Natty, gone. I didn't say they play LSU next year. 2 years though. Overall, look, it sucks that DJ is gone, right? Just because he still has that potential. He still can be good. I'm not going to be broken up about it, really. Again, I think it's a great decision for him personally. I do. I think that I think that you're missing out on having a damn good OC. I'll say that. But I think there's a lot going on where it is what it is, right? You're giving Lagway too much credit. No, I'm not. Physically, he's still very talented. There's a lot of work to do, but physically, he's still very talented, and you can fix that. I just don't think he's fixable at the University of Florida. He was very open about that, right? It was very open about that. You think Tramel Jones is our guy next year? I don't know. I think Tramel Jones is going to compete to be our guy next year. I think there are quite a few people that are going to be in the conversation now to compete for the job next year. You're going to have portal guys. You're going to have whatever you're looking for. You're going to have the opportunity to compete. That's wide open for Florida. I would prefer that they at least behind the scenes know their plan, because when the portal opens, if you don't know your plan, you open the door for an ugly possibility, right? Like if there's receivers that are like, okay, well, you don't know who the quarterback's going to be, you don't have a plan at quarterback, I'm going to hit the portal and find a place that does have a plan at quarterback. I think that's a real possibility. So I think you got to kind of figure that one out ahead of time. We're going to wrap this up, but we'll talk more about DJ tomorrow on Locked On Gators. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever the podcast and on YouTube. We will be live, or we will be back tomorrow at the absolute latest. Maybe if there's news today, we'll see. Like I said, I just took the flight over across the pond, came here, and then I walked in. A little while later, this announcement happens. But thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow at the absolute latest. I am Brandon Olsen, and I will see you all next time.